church service canceled by a president. This is Kenya News Update today. Coming up, you'll discover how a prayer mass for a jailed opposition leader was blocked by direct presidential order and what it reveals about the state of democracy in Uganda. Meet Kizza Besigye, a former personal doctor to President Yoweri Museveni, a political opponent for over 25 years, and a man who has been in jail for about 15 months on treason charges. His family planned a simple act of faith, a mass at Rubaga Cathedral in Kampala to pray for his health and release. But here's the twist. The Archbishop himself received a call from the president ordering him to cancel it. This is the story of a prayer that became a political battleground. For 15 months, Besigye has been imprisoned. His health has reportedly suffered. His family, led by his wife Winnie Byanyima, who is also the executive director of UNAIDS, called on supporters to gather for a prayer service. But as some worshippers had already gathered at the cathedral, the mass was called off. Byanyima told AFP she was contacted by Archbishop Paul S. Semujur, who said he had received a call from President Museveni. The president reportedly said the mass was political and needed investigation first. Byanyima condemned this move, stating it shows that the state can infringe on the rights of people to worship, and it is considered normal. But here's what nobody's talking about. This incident is just the latest chapter in a decades-long political struggle. Besigye was abducted by armed men in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, in November 2024. He reappeared days later at a military court in Uganda, facing charges of allegedly plotting to overthrow the government. Human rights groups and the opposition say his prosecution is directly linked to the recent presidential election. And then, something shocking happened. Last month, during Uganda's presidential polls, Byanyima said Museveni wants Besigye to die in prison. The election itself was held under a total internet blackout and widespread repression of the opposition. Museveni, 81, who has been in power since 1986, contested for the 7th time. A week after the election, Uganda's army chief, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who is Museveni's son, welcomed the killing of 30 opposition members and the arrest of 2,000 others. Museveni's main challenger, Bobi Wine, has been in hiding since then. Here's the part that will blow your mind. A simple prayer service was seen as such a threat that it required direct intervention from the very top. The state's reach extended into the cathedral, silencing not just political dissent, but spiritual solace. This escalation reveals a pattern where every aspect of public life, including worship, is viewed through a lens of political control. The implications are profound and controversial. Some may see this as necessary state security, investigating potential political gatherings disguised as prayer. Others see it as a blatant violation of religious freedom and a sign of a regime clinging to power by any means necessary. It raises an unanswered question. If praying for a sick prisoner is considered a political act, what does that say about the space for basic humanity? It forces us to zoom out to the bigger picture in East Africa, where the lines between state security and personal liberty are constantly being redrawn. This story is about more than one canceled mass. It's about the long shadow of a 40-year rule, the silencing of opposition voices, and the weaponization of every platform, even the pulpit. The tension is clear, the state's narrative of stability versus the opposition's cry for justice and basic rights. But if a prayer is too dangerous to allow, what hope is left for dialogue? Do you think blocking a church service was an act of necessary security or an unacceptable overreach of state power? Drop your take in the comments. This was Kenya News Update today. Subscribe for more critical stories from across East Africa.